Turn to Syria. After you came out of the classified briefing, it was clear it had emotionally had an impact on you seeing those children, and I could see it in the president's face and the number of times he's talked about it. That has been sort of the moral argument to be made about why some intervention is needed in Syria. Why do you think that has been only a minority of members of Congress who have bought into the moral argument?
Well, we all represent a constituency that is weary of war. The entire country, I mean, I hear it from my own constituents. It's our job to explain to constituents, like President Obama did, I think, effectively the other night in his speech, that Syria is not Iraq. It's not even Libya. What it is you have a regime and a leader who brutally murdered almost 1,500 of his own people in cold blood, including hundreds of children. And like I said, you're right. I was, from the first minute I saw those videos, emotionally affected. I mean, there, but for the grace of God. You know, you see your own kids writhing in your mind, writhing on the floor like that. We have a moral obligation as the only world superpower to stand against and prevent murder like that.
So you are comfortable with giving the president the authority to do this?
I think it's essential, and I think it's essential both politically and diplomatically, and to make sure that we don't allow that to happen.
The president called for a pause.
There's no way we'd be in negotiations with Russia and Syria without that threat.
The president called for a delay, though, in any vote.
Yes.
Do you think that they should be reworking the authorization that sort of codifies what's going on right now in Geneva and puts in the if this, then the president has authority? Do you think that he should be seeking that right now simultaneously as these negotiations are underway?
I think working on the language and how it would look and making sure that we continue to clearly proceed towards readiness to engage in a limited strike. If that doesn't work, absolutely
Can that pass the House?
You know, I think that there are a lot of members' minds that were swayed based on Syria and Russia suddenly coming to the table, willing to A, acknowledge that they had and used chemical weapons, and B, willing to
So you think that helped? The fact that they're coming to the table helped convince, well, maybe a threat of force is necessary?
I've had members tell me that they were a no, and they clearly saw that we have a window of opportunity here because there was a credible threat of a strike, and they believed we would strike.
Are you encouraging the White House to say, you know what, don't pause, go get this authorization now?
You know, I think the pause makes sense. You have to give some room for the negotiations to take place, but we continue to need to persuade members that we are going to have to authorize a strike.
Congressman Schultz, Chairwoman of the Democratic National Committee, but also
Gators.
Florida Gator fan. Okay. Well, it didn't do so much chopping last Saturday. All right.